into the far turn, and they are 4 across the track. It's Diamonds Dancing at the Rail, Soul Sweet, Shanghai Sunrise, and Wish They All Could Be. Now, Shanghai Sunrise and Wish They All Could Be. And here's Scary Fast Ride, cut loose on the outside. As Diamonds Dancing drops out of it, as does Soul Sweet there at the top of the stretch, and Scary Fast Ride is up to battle with Wish They All Could Be. Scary Fast Ride to the front. Diamonds Dancing fighting on at the rail in third, a 16th to run, and Scary Fast Ride opens up. And it's going to be Scary Fast Ride to defeat Wish They All Could Be, Diamonds Dancing, and Irish Wahine. They're in the gate, and they're off. Lots of bumping going on. I'm a Joker broke inward. It is a quick start for Poppy's Joy and Sea Dancer. Those two share the lead by the stands the first time, with Gerwig in third and I'm a Joker fourth in the early stages. American Dreammaker is just 4 lengths off the pace, followed by Circle of Trust racing on the inside of Blue Fashion, and another 2 back to Oration. It's Sea Dancer racing well off the rail, leading the way by about 2. Poppy's Joy is in second. Down at the rail, I'm a Joker now third, followed by American Dreammaker, who's 5 lengths off the pacemaker, who's getting away up top. Down at the rail, Gerwig is next, racing 2 clear of Blue Fashion, Circle of Trust, and Oration. Down the back stretch, Sea Dancer and Frankie Dettori, 3.5 lengths to the good of Poppy's Joy second. At the rail, I'm a Joker in the Blue Silks third, and American Dreammaker is fourth past the half-mile pole, racing 5 lengths off the leader. Then comes Circle of Trust, Gerwig between Blue Fashion and Oration. They take closer order into the far turn, with Sea Dancer the controlling speed, going on willingly a length and a half. Poppy's Joy still second. I'm a Joker at the rail in third, and American Dreammaker asked to pick it up in fourth. 3 lengths clear of Circle of Trust as the field turns for home. Sea Dancer to catch, tries to spurt away. Poppy's Joy at the rail. I'm a Joker is finishing very nicely. Then comes American Dreammaker. They're coming to the 16th pole. Sea Dancer, I'm a Joker. Sea Dancer, 3/4. I'm a Joker's getting to him gradually. Time running out, though. And Sea Dancer would not be denied. Fends off I'm a Joker. Third to American Dreammaker in front of Blue Fashion. And then Poppy's Joy completes the super high 5. Memories walks into the gate as the prohibitive favorite. They're in the gate. And they're off in the La Cañada. Coffee in bed. Here's Musical Mischief and Midnight Memories with that natural speed. Sprints by them to take the lead. Midnight Memories, Musical Mischief will be prominent in the opening furlongs, and Musical Mischief on even terms with Midnight Memories takes the lead now. Coffee in Bed tucked in third, followed by Desert Dawn fourth, 3 lengths off the lead, and Signorina Marisi is at the back. 3 lengths covers them, 6 furlongs to run. Musical Mischief narrowly in front, with Midnight Memories a half length back in second. Coffee in Bed between horses. Desert Dawn is 3 deep, and Signorina Marisi on the fence past the 5/8 pole. It's Musical Mischief leading the way by a half a length. Midnight Memories and Juan Hernandez second. A length and a half back to that same lineup of 3. Signorina Marisi at the rail, Coffee in Bed between them, and Desert Dawn in the blue. Heading to the 3/8 pole, Musical Mischief has been there throughout, But Midnight Memories is right to her. And now there goes Desert Dawn. The new leader, Midnight Memories, 5/16 out. Desert Dawn coming to her on the outside. Musical Mischief at the rail, trying to stay with them. Coffee in Bed is fourth, with just 2 to make up. Desert Dawn sprints up on the outside of Midnight Memories, and these two come to the 8th pole with Coffee in Bed in hot pursuit in the center of the track. Desert Dawn puts away Midnight Memories. Coffee in Bed rallies into second. It's Desert Dawn and Flavian Pratt in a superb performance, winning the La Cañada by a length and a half. Coffee in Bed lost nothing in defeat. Midnight Memories was third. In the 9th, Scratch 5, Pioneer Prince, post time in 22 minutes. The Golden Hour Double starts with race 9. Caribbean King, Player B. And they're off. Cantaro Doro is sent out of the gate. Quintessence with Natural Early Foot. Caribbean King in between them. Gaelic Nation makes it for them, vying for the lead. Player B is next. Caribbean King a little tough to handle in these early stages. Another 2 lengths back to Baldoro. Inside, Hard Money Muchachos and Smooth Salute is at the back of proceedings. It's Cantaro Doro and Quintessence past the 6 furlong pole as Gaelic Nation makes it over to the rail. Still a very difficult Caribbean King in fourth, about 7 lengths off the lead. Then comes Baldoro on the outside. It's another 2 lengths to Player B, Hard Money Muchacho, stride for stride. Smooth Salute continues to trail. It's Cantaro Doro with a half-mile left to go. Quintessence keeping him on his second. 3 more lengths to Gaelic Nation in third, and Caribbean King along the inside inches up a closer fourth. Baldoro is losing ground on the far outside. Player B in the green silks is in striking range, just 4 off the lead. Hard Money Muchachos and Smooth Salute now moving up 3 wide. Smooth Salute in the red is gaining a little momentum. Quarter to go. Cantaro Doro and Quintessence 1-2 the whole way, chased by Gaelic Nation at the rail. Caribbean King is trying to get out of a tough spot, and in the center of the course, a continued rally for Smooth Salute. Final 1/8 of a mile, Cantaro Doro, and here's Smooth Salute and Giovanni Franco just blowing by the competition. What a big bid and a successful one for Smooth Salute, who wins by 3. Player B picked it up late for second. Photo between Quintessence and Caribbean King. Cantaro Doro tired to 5th.
Hi, everybody, and I've got the answer to the question that you all want to hear. Who's going to win the Tampa Bay-Detroit game? Come on, don't think that that's the answer to the question. Nobody cares about NFL. 4 to 5 for 2.5 hours. Horse racing is the way to go. The answer to the question is yes, we are on the turf. The turf course is listed as good, and also the main track is listed as good. Expect those to be upgraded throughout the day. We had a little bit of rain overnight, but right now, partly cloudy skies. The bulk of the rain not expected until after the races are over, either later tonight or tomorrow morning. To walk us through today's 8-race card is a young whippersnapper. You've seen him on the show before. His name, Sebastian Piscuskas. Sebastian, welcome to the seminar. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, Tom. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you here. Now, let me ask you a question, Sebastian. What year were you born in?
94.
1994. Well, let's turn back the clock and look at a replay from 2001. Why do I want to show a replay from 2001? Because that's the year that Astra, and that's the name of our feature race today, that's when Astra won the 2001 Beverly Hills Handicap at Hollywood Park, now known as SoFi Stadium. Let's listen to track announcer Vic Stauffer describe the action of Astra winning the 2001 Beverly Hills Handicap.
They're up. Jig broke smoothly and smartly and goes right out for the early lead. Happy and You Know It away in second. Astra and Polaire, and now Polaire tugs her way up into third, but Jig and Happy and You Know It are 1-2. Astra is a close third, and Calypso Katie is at the back of the pack early as they crawl along on the front end. First time by the stands, defending champion Happy and You Know It is just a neck in front of Polaire and Happy and You Know It. And Brice Blanc will set moderate fractions into the clubhouse turn. Polaire right alongside. Astra attends the pace. She's just in behind the leaders, 3rd and 2 from the front. Jig from off the pace today races along in 4th, and Calypso Katie is at the back of the pack as they head to the backstretch in the Beverly Hills Handicap. It is Happy and You Know It and Polaire 1-2. Their strides synchronized, but they're both traveling comfortably. And now Polaire extends her stride just to be a neck in front. Brice Blanc doesn't seem to mind as Happy and You Know It continues in her rhythmic stride at the rail. Astra and Calypso Katie, and here's Calypso Katie going to make the first move to put some pressure on the front runners, Gary Stevens and Calypso Katie, and Brice Blanc sensed that, and now Happy and You Know It has to respond as Calypso Katie going to try to win it right now at the half-mile pole. Happy and You Know It will have none of that, though, and these two quicken. Polaire, a big long shot, trying to stay with the top two. Astra rides her time in third. She's only 2.5 lengths off the lead as Polaire checks out of it. Jig was never in it, and now they throw it down at the top of the stretch. It is Happy and You Know It and Calypso Katie. Astra going to join the party 3 wide. She still has 2.5 lengths to make up. Polaire and Jig are next, and they head to the top of the stretch in the Beverly Hills. It is Happy and You Know It trying to retain her crown. Calypso Katie, here comes Astra with giant strides, and Kent DeSormo has Astra in gear, and that gear is overdrive. Look at Astra blow by, and Happy and You Know It has nothing to say about it. Astra runs away, and she crushes. Oh, my.
Some old school names in there, Sebastian. Brice Blanc, who now works for the San Diego Racing Office. Gary Stevens, who, of course, retired. Kent DeSormo. And were you old enough to remember that Simon Bray was the trainer of Astra? You were 7 years old. Do you remember that, or you just remember him from TVG/FanDuel?
So I remember him being a trainer, but I don't remember him training Astra.
Uh-huh. Had you ever seen this race before? You know, you guys now with the technology, you can pull up a replay from 50 years ago on your phone.
I mean, I've watched thousands upon thousands of replays in my time, Tom, but I can't remember seeing this race maybe more than once.
Well, it's actually an honor to have a race named in Astra's honor, of course, today on our 8-race card. Who maybe was or is your favorite racehorse of all time? You've been coming to the races since basically you were a toddler. Going back in your long adult life of 27 years, 29 years, who kind of comes to mind as your favorite horse?
I would have to say it would be Lava Man.
And why is that?
He was a Calbred story, you know, claimed for 50,000. He was just a salt of the earth animal that got really good, went all over the world, and yet really only did his best racing here. I was there for his Hollywood Gold Cup when he broke on his nose. I was there for a specific classic. I think it was 2006 when he won that. So he was a horse that I followed for many years, just as really finally getting into like reading the form and watching tape. I mean, I still couldn't bet. So it was more like a labor of love at that point. Well, I still couldn't bet. But, you know, if a ticket went in and it was my ticket, but it wasn't my ticket, it happens.
You eat, sleep, and breathe horse racing. Your Bible is actually the daily racing form that you have in front of you. Do you ever have a desire when you are able to accumulate some money to maybe own a racehorse, or are you just going to continue to gamble on them?
I think for now I'm going to continue to gamble on them. overhead is pretty stellar. So I'm going to stick to owning them for about a minute and a half. And then after that, there's somebody else's problem.
You moved down to Orange County. That means you're closer to Los Alamitos. That's another track that you love. Have you been able to do the degenerate doubleheader of San Anita in the daytime and Los Al at night?
Not recently. I've done it several times, but not recently. At the end of the day, after being at San Anita all day, I just kind of want to go home and watch replays from today.
It's the perils of working in the industry, right? You're tired at the end of the day. It's not like just being a horse player where you come on and it's kind of a leisurely day. You actually got to work.
Oh, work is name of the game, right? I mean,
four-letter word.
Four-letter word. It's the most fulfilling thing that I do throughout my day.
Are you old enough to remember the Orange County Fair when we ran thoroughbreds at Los Alamitos at the nighttime signal?
No, I do recall seeing a couple 6-furlong races around the ring at night, but I wasn't old enough to really follow that.
Would you believe me if I told you that guys like Bill Shoemaker, Corey Black, Corey Nakatani, and others rode at the Los Alamitos nighttime signal?
The answer is I wouldn't believe you. So if I hadn't seen it, it didn't happen.
And I'm still sober. It's only 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, and I am telling the truth. We're going to find out who Sebastian likes on today's 8-race card. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the changes on today's card, where the main track is good and the turf course is also listed as good, with all races remaining on the turf right now.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. Both the main track and turf are rated good, with the rail on the turf at 20 feet. Here are the changes on today's card. In the first, number 4, Unkept Secret, 3 pounds over. No changes in race 2. The third starts the $1 pick 6. We do have a blinker note. Race 3 is also the start of the $3 all-turf pick 3. In the fourth, there's a blinker note. In the fifth, scratch 8, Granada Flavor. Turning to the 6th race, the Astra Stakes. Just a blinker note. No changes in race 7, which will begin the golden hour pick 4. And in the 8th, scratch number 5, Irish Patsy. Those are the changes on our Sunday program. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. Let's go back now to Quigley's Corner in the studio. It's Seabass Sunday. Tom's special guest today is Sebastian Piscuskas.
Welcome back. Sebastian Piscuskas. It's a Seabass Sunday because his Twitter handle is Seabass912. How'd you come up with that Twitter handle? Where'd that come from?
Well, let's see. So my birthday plus the nickname, and just put it together. I really reinvented the wheel on that one.
How'd you get a nickname of Seabass? Where'd that come from?
I have no idea.
Was it here at the track or back in high school?
It was probably back sometime in junior high or whatever when we were playing youth sports. Everybody came up with names. Sebastian's kind of long. They don't really want to call me Seb. They had to come up with something, right? So that's what what it was. I mean, I've carried that name as long as I've been alive.
Maybe it's not Seabass. Maybe it's Seb something else. Have you ever thought about that?
Never in my life.
Okay.
We're going to ride with Seabass until the wheels fall off. How about that?
Well, we're going to ride with you on the selections day. By the way, for those of you who might not know you, you're the loyalty and marketing ambassador for Santa Anita. It's a relatively new position. Of course, you're the future of the game. That's a lot of weight on your shoulders. We're trying to retain the current customers. We're trying to recruit new customers. Tell us a little bit about what you do for Santa Anita.
So I wear very many different hats.
Yes, you do.
As the loyalty and marketing ambassador, I head up our promotions. We just recently concluded our umbrella promotion. We have the Flightline pin promotion going on right now. But main name of the game is I just try to have and make as positive an experience for our customer as I can.
And, one of the biggest promotions we have all year long is the calendar giveaway. And you well know that is a very, very popular giveaway, and rightfully so, because it's a work of art.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. The calendar has been a staple here before I was born. It's a beautiful art piece every year, and I'm more than happy to give away as many as I can, no matter how I have to do it. And so it's always nice to have somebody come in and say, this is my first time here. And I go, oh, would you like a calendar? That's one of my favorite things to do.
Well, one of our favorite things is hopefully for you to give us some winners, Sebastian. So let's kick things off here in race number 1. We're sprinting 6.5 furlongs in the main track for maiden claimers, $20,000 of the claiming tag. It also starts the 50-cent early pick 5. We've got a field of 7. The morning line favorite in the current betting choice at 8-5 is the first-time starter, number 5, Crypto Craze from the Louis Mendez barn. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Sebastian, we want to watch a workout courtesy of our friends at xbtv.com for number 5, Crypto Craze. He's going to break in the middle here in a tangle. That's him breaking dead last in the blue sleeves that the exercise rider is wearing. But take a look at how quickly he recovers and basically speeds up to the lead as quickly as he can. You can already see his final workout time is 46 and change. There were approximately 80 workers that day at that particular distance, 89 to be precise. He earned the bullet workout, even though he broke in a tangle that particular morning. And you can see that obviously he's got a very comfortable lead right now. He's going to show that early speed. The question becomes, Sebastian, can he get the 6.5 furlong distance? This workout is at 4 furlongs. Do you put him on top, and why?
I do put him on top, Tom. Ultimately, when you have a horse that of this caliber right now, granted now he's a 4-year-old starting at the bottom of the maiden claiming ranks, but he's fast. You know that even if he doesn't get out of the gate, he can still get on or near the lead. We showed the work until the half-mile pole, but he gallops out fairly nice. He's got a decent stride on him. Ultimately, if he can go, 5/8 of a mile, he might have a big enough lead where he can just kind of coast home. So that's where I end up with Crypto Craze.
There's a couple of things to take note of if you have the past performances in front of you that I'll add to Sebastian's analysis. First of all, there's multiple breaks in the works. You can see he was working back in September of 2022. Then he got back on the work tab in July of 2023. Then he missed from August to October of 2023. So he's had some breaks. So Sebastian mentioned he's a 4-year-old first-time starter. Connections also paid $52,000. He's in for 20 if he gets claimed and they win. They're not quite even, but they're out. And there's a little bit of precocity with the dam. The dam won her debut by 6 lengths. Up at Bay Meadows or Golden Gate, one of the Northern California tracks, I forget. This is their first foal, and the Luis Mendez barn with their last 10 debut maiden claimers, 3 wins, 3 seconds, and a third. So 7 for 10 in the money with his debut claimers. I think you can tell by the tote action that he's certainly going to be live. You also like Bluegrass Rider, who's had 16 chances up to this point. Why do you think today might be the day?
So Bluegrass Rider comes out of a really fast maiden 20 race last time out. He ended up losing several lengths in the turn as he was chasing a 3-wide speed duel. As he's coming into the lane, he drifts out into about the 7 path, and then he kind of finishes a little bit at the end. Ultimately, I think it might have been a little fool's gold, that little close, but a horse that's 0 for 16 coming out of a decent race at a good price, go ahead and throw him underneath, see what happens.
How much attention do you pay to post position? And I ask because this race is at 6.5 furlongs, so it's before the gap. Sometimes at 6.5, the horse is breaking from the rail, duck in. Is that any concern for you, or you just kind of look past it?
It's not a concern for me in this particular spot, but going forward in this card specifically, and just as a general rule of thumb, I tend to lean outside speed. So I don't usually end up on horses on the rail very often, unless it's a turf race.
Let's take a look at race number 2. Begins the 50-cent early pick 4, 6 furlongs in the main track. For fillies and mares, $25,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime. We've got a field of 5, and the odds-on morning line favorite is number 2, Stay in Line from the George Parabon barn. 4-5 according to John White. What's race 2 according to Sebastian?
According to me, it's 4-5. So I ended up on Our Girl's Worth It. I liked her last race. She showed some speed, kind of stuck around, got tired at the end. She was the favorite. She draws further outside than she had previously. In the start that two back when she broke from post 7 of 7, she again showed speed, made a middle move, and then kind of faded. I think that with a comfortable draw on the outside of the 2 and 3 that really want to go, that she can absolutely sit a nice 3-ride trip, take a shot coming into the stretch, and if she's good enough, she get the job done.
And you're a brave man. You like number 5, Conceal and Carry, who's the longest shot on the board at 10-1 to maybe round out the exacta. What'd you see in her running lines?
So Conceal and Carry, she's a gun runner, and they paid, she was bred for $250,000 by Calumet. By and large, ultimately, I really liked her race at Los Al. I think that race at Los Al shows that she can kind of sit closer than we would think, right? And that she's able to finish her race off. But ultimately, she's drawn farthest outside in a 5-horse field, so traffic should not come into play here. And she's another one where if she's in the mix coming into the stretch, she can absolutely win this race.
There's only so many hours in the day, and of course, Los Alamitos runs at night, even in the Pacific time zone. Do you find that paying attention to Los Alamitos at night helps you in the afternoon? In other words, can those horses compete on this particular circuit at Santa Anita these days, in your opinion, generally speaking?
Yes, absolutely. I think that these horses running down at Los Alamitos these days, particularly with the non-winners of a race at the distance that they've been riding, non-winners of 2 races at the distance that they've been riding, they absolutely can transfer to this form here. I think of a filly like Mediha, who is, I believe she's a Calbred Stakes winner, if not Calbred Stakes placed, who's run at night at Los Al and has been productive and then come up to the big track and continue to carry her form. So yes, I absolutely think that horses running at night at Los Al these days are absolutely competitive.
You make a good point, Sebastian, because trainers can basically use that arena, so to speak, as a starting point for comeback races, protect the horse in the allowance race, not get claimed, and then use that prep race to transfer over here and maybe make the money run.
Absolutely. And not only that, they are racing for about $19,000 down there. So even if your horse is a couple work short, but you're able to poach a few thousand just to come back up here, what's wrong with that?
Race number 3 begins the $1 pick 6 on today's 8-race card. It also begins the $3 all-turf pick 3, and in race number 3, we're going a 1 1/8 on the turf course for maiden special weight 3-year-olds, 4, 5, and 6 years old. Excuse me, for maiden 3-year-olds. I was right the first time. The rails today are at 20 feet, and we've got a field of 6. Morning line favorite number 4, Bandwagon from the Phil D'Amato barn. 2-1 on the morning line. Talk to us about race 3.
So in race 3, I ended up on the 5, Message of Hope. I thought that his debut was a little better than advertised. 7th beaten 7 lengths over at Belmont at Aqueduct, which is a mouthful to say. I think it was a credible debut. I think he will improve with, a little bit of added distance, a little seasoning. Frankie's been working him in the morning, so he's gotten to know the horse. And I just think that in a field like this, where there's a bunch of question marks surrounding the other horses, to take a shot with the fresh face.
You also give a little love to the morning line favorite number 4, Bandwagon, who broke from an outside post in a field of 12 last time out. Now gets Tony Frasu back in the saddle. What do you think about his chances?
Bandwagon, he is the absolute known commodity in this race. He's run 3 credible races after his debut. He's moving forward, right? He's moving towards something. He does get to add Lasix again, which is really good. He got to do that in his second start. Ultimately, Phil gets all of his horses to either overperform or perform to the level that we expect. I think that Little Red Feather's got a really nice horse on their hand, and I don't see why this race isn't 5-4-4-5.
You're a brave man because you're trying to beat both of the Bob Baffert runners, number 2, Lake Superior, number 3, British Isles. That's how you're going to make money if you're gambling. What are the knocks against both of the Baffert runners?
So I don't really have any knocks against the Baffert runners. Ultimately, I think Lake Superior might be, at this point, might be a better sprinter as opposed to going 9 furlongs on the grass. Regarding British Isles, I do really like the blinkers off on that horse. It'd probably be the 3rd on the ticket. My question mark is ultimately the grass. Justify out of a pure prize mare. I think he could get grass, but I would rather see one first.
Race number 4 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. This is the maiden special weight race I was thinking of. Maiden special weights 4 and 5 years old, sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track. We've got a field of 6. Morning line favorite down on the rail. Number 1, Vegas Burner from the George Papadromo barn, 9-5 on the morning line. 2 of these runners exit the same race. It was back, I should say, 3 of these runners exit the same race. It's the inside 3 runners. Vegas Burner, Hey Brother, and Sneaking Candy all ran last time out in the 4th race at Santa Anita here on December 26th, opening day. And you'll see that both Vegas Burner and Hey Brother duel up on the lead, and then they actually wind up losing to Judge Miller, who is a 3-5 odds horse from the Mark Glatt barn. Let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action and watch how both Vegas Burner and Hey Brother performed on December 26th right here at the Great Race Place.
And they're off. Cavendish broke a bit outward, but it's an even start as Vegas Burner gets a very narrow lead. Here's Hey Brother. And Hey Brother is now coming through to vie for the lead alongside Judge Miller. Those two are stride for stride. Cavendish won from the rail. Mongolian Altai is down at the fence, and Vegas Burner still close up in third. It's a gap of 5 to Sneaking Candy with no early speed. Down the backstretch, Hey Brother and Judge Miller heads apart on the front end, with Vegas Burner a half length back, 3 deep third. Cavendish pushed along by Juan Hernandez, 5 lengths off the pace in fourth. Mongolian Altai is next, and another 2 back to Sneaking Candy. They have 3/8 of a mile to run. Hey Brother, Judge Miller, and Vegas Burner running a good race on the outside. Judge Miller puts his chestnut nose in front, joined by Vegas Burner on the outside. And Hey Brother hanging tough, just a neck away third, a gap of 6 to Sneaking Candy. They pass the quarter pole and turn for home. And Vegas Burner on the outside is head and head with Judge Miller at the 8th pole. And Hey Brother not going away either. Between rivals, Judge Miller just in front. Vegas Burner making him work. And Hey Brother is back to third past the 16th pole. And Judge Miller just to score. He had...
Sebastian, that race that we just watched the replay of was 7 furlongs. Today's distance is 6 furlongs. That might benefit both Vegas Burner and Hey Brother. Vegas Burner is first-time Flavian Pratt, always a dangerous angle. We see on the graphic that you like Hey Brother and Vegas Burner in that order. Why is that so?
So with a horse like Hey Brother, I kept, when I was watching that race on opening day, I kept waiting for him to stop. Three wide speed duels. I just kept waiting for him to just throw in the towel, and he stuck around until mid-stretch. And then, he backed up as you would expect. He now draws on the outside of Vegas Burner. Now, there is other speed in here. However, Hey Brother might just be the controlling speed. And if, for whatever reason, he might break a little slow like he did 2 and 3 back at Los Al and Del Mar, respectively, he's proven that he has the ability to pass horses if necessary. So getting one, he won't be on the rail today. I just think that that's a better spot for him to be in.
We saw Sneaking Candy kind of making up some late ground late. Again, the distance is shorter, but the blinkers do go on for the son of Into Mischief. Mike Smith decides to ride back. The question I have, Sebastian, is this. Take a look at the past performances for number 1 Vegas Burner, and the Beyer speed figure that he earned was a 94. That sure seems like an aberration given his other speed figure numbers. None of these other runners have come back to run again. Do you think it's possible that Judge Miller earned an inflated Beyer speed figure, or are you buying the fact that Vegas Burner and Hey Brother maybe are better than their competition, including the first-time starters?
I would absolutely think that there's a lot of credence to the idea that Judge Miller got an inflated Beyer as a result. Vegas Burner is unfortunately a bounce candidate coming into this race. He does draw the rail. However, you also run the risk of that being a legitimate number and then that he does come back to burn you. So it'll be very interesting to see, an 0 for 10 maiden like Vegas Burner, who now is going to have to do the heavy lifting on the rail, whereas Hey Brother now gets to press him instead of the opposite. Horses like Vegas Burner and Sneaking Candy in that last race, they're both on the wrong lead until about late in the lane. If Hey Brother gets a soft trip or gets a better trip than last time, he might already have the race won by the time they get back onto their right lead.
Race number 4, we've got a field of 9 after the scratch of number 8, Granada Flavor. Race number 5 also begins the 50-cent late pick 4. And a shout out to who the race is named in honor of. Louis Mastery's Westlake Racing Stable Group is sponsoring this race. They always do a great job. They have horses with Bob Hess. So welcome to the track, the Masry family. And race number 5, we're sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track for $10,000 claimers. The morning line favorite is number 5, Paco's Pico, first off the claim for trainer Ed Mosier at 5-2. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Sebastian, we want to watch the full replay of Paco's Pico, easy for me to say, last effort. This was the 4th race just a few weeks ago at San Anita on January 5th, 2024. And there's a couple things before we actually watch the replay that I want you to pay attention to. Take a look at the early splits that Paco's Pico sets. 23 and change, 47 and change while dueling 2 wide. He puts away his first pace setter, gets a little bit of a breather, and then he has to re-engage again and basically runs really tough until mid-stretch when understandably he tires late. He was bred by Godolphin, so you know that he was cut out to be a good horse. Now he's at the $10,000 claiming level. Let's go ahead and watch Paco's Pico, last effort for John Sadler and Mr. Ronas. He ran, in my opinion, a winning race, albeit at 2 turns. Let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action.
And they're off. Pacos, Pico, and New Every Morning. Those two speed away in the opening furlong. Divine Feminine. Tembo now moves up, takes third. Muhammad Ali is down at the rail. New Every Morning just in front of Pacos, Pico, and Tembo will get a nice cozy position just off the top pair with 4 lengths to make up. He's followed by Muhammad Ali down at the rail, and then it's Divine Feminine. 6 furlongs to run, and it's New Every Morning by a head. Pacos Pico continues right up alongside. 4.5 back to Tembo in third. Then 2 more, Divine Feminine, Muhammad Ali. 5/8 to run. And they're still head and head, but now it's Pacos Pico asserting himself and opening up a 1.5 lengths quickly on New Morning in second. Another 2 back to Tembo third, followed by Divine Feminine, and Muhammad Ali has lost touch, 15 lengths off the leader, heading toward the 3/8 pole. Pacos Pico, the one to catch. Now Tembo comes after him smartly in second. Pacos Pico and Tembo past the 3/8 pole together, heads apart, as Divine Feminine takes third. New Every Morning has dropped out of it. Muhammad Ali has been no factor. Tembo's yellow blinkers on the outside of Pacos Pico as the field turns for home. It's Tembo just in front. Pacos Pico, Divine Feminine, 4 back in third. 3/16 of a mile to go. Tembo and Pacos Pico continue to slug it out, and Divine Feminine's trying to pick up the pieces, grinding away 3 back third. Tembo, Pacos Pico, Divine Feminine getting closer. Tembo, Divine Feminine. Tembo or Divine Feminine. Tembo prevails. Divine Feminine second. Pacos Pico third.
Sebastian Divine Feminine, who finished second in that race, came back to win. And what an admirable performance by Pacos Pico. That was just 16 days ago. He was 1-5 that particular afternoon, so he's expected to win. But wow, that was an admirable performance in my opinion. Here's the concern I have with Pacos Pico. Is he going to bounce off that effort? Like I said, he's a $10,000 animal. That sure looked like a taxing effort. And he was claimed out of the race by trainer Ed Mosier. Do you know that in the last 5 years, Ed Mosier has claimed 56 horses? 3 of them have wound up in the winner's circle first off the claim. So he's a 5% first off the claim trainer. To me, this looks like a vulnerable favorite, but that's just me. How did you see race 5?
I saw race 5 as a total grab bag. And so when I go see grab bag, I think, let's go grab a price and have some fun. Why not?
Key it in the exactas and the multi-race
yeah,
wagers.
Absolutely. This would be where you make your money. That's where I end up on the 3 high press. There is very little here.
20-1, that's what we're talking about.
There is very little here in his last 2 races that would indicate that high press is going to run a winning race. However, when you look at his last start, breaking from the rail, off slow, start before that, he was 4 wide, considered no menace. He's got incredible performances running at night in those non-winners of a race at 1,000, non-winners of a race at 2,000 over at Los Al. So with horses in this race like Pacos Pico, Hands Are Dream, a little Sol de Sour, and some Matico and even some afternoon heats, I think this pace is going to be relatively fast. So why can't high press sit closer than I think he sat last time and then run them all down at 20-1?
And Santiago Gonzalez has certainly had a very good meet with limited opportunities. Speaking of prices, you also like number 6, Hands Our Dream, who's 6-1 on the morning line. Another horse that has seen plenty of action at Los Alamitos during the nighttime. What'd you see in his form?
So Hands Are Dream is like, I ended up on Martin Vallen's waitlist, both runners in this race. I didn't even realize that. How funny. Hands Are Dream is just the fastest horse in the race, in my opinion. I think that the race goes through him. His last race was incredible. Heart Full of Stars won his first race. And I think it was 3.5 years when he went and ran him down. By and large, I think Hands Are Dream ran a winning race despite getting beat 5 1/4 lengths. Now he gets to draw a little further outside. There really isn't much pace on his outside to put him to the test. So you have to beat him to win.
Bombs away in race number 5, number 3, high press, 20-1 on John White's morning line, Sebastian's top pick. Race number 6 is the aforementioned Astra Stakes. We're going 1.5 miles on the turf course for fillies and mares. We've got a field of 7. The defending champ, Duvet Day, is in this race. Number 5 at 5-2 on the morning line. Over number 6, Linda's Gift is 2-1 on the morning line. Field of 7 here, Sebastian. How'd you see it?
I ended up on the outside horse, Musical Rhapsody. Her performances in Europe were pretty strong in handicap races. She came to the U.S. and they tried her at 11 furlongs and she went off as a favorite, trouble trip, and she just didn't have it. Then they shortened her up a little bit, and again she just kind of ran around the track. When they went in the red carpet and she went without Lasix, it seemed like the light bulb went on. She didn't get an extra soft trip chasing Linda's gift. So there is a little bit of a concern that it just might have been a merry-go-round race as a result of the pace. But if Musical Rhapsody can once again move forward, running without Lasix, having maybe the light bulb indeed turn on, 5-1 is a nice price in this race.
And if you remember yesterday's seminar, we showed the workout for Musical Rhapsody. She got blown away by Desert Dawn, who wound up winning our stakes race yesterday. But she's certainly been keeping good company, as Sebastian mentioned. And at 5-1, she could be a play and another knockout horse in the multi-race exotics. Race number 7 looks to be a good field of maiden special weight 3-year-old fillies, printing 6 furlongs in the main track. It also begins the $1 golden hour pick 4. We've got a field of 8 in the morning line favorite number 7. Miss Bojay is the 5-2 morning line favorite from the Peter Urton barn. Miss Bojay has one career start. That was back on December 29th. It was the eighth race. She's a gray filly. She also broke from post position 10 in a field of 11. Let's watch the replay for Miss Bojay when she debuted back on December 29th and listen to Frank Miramati describe the action.
We're in the gate. And they're off. And Miss Bojay flies out of the gate. Kinza has good speed too. These two hook up right away with Tahini a close up third. Coastal Cowgirl on the outside with the black sleeves is in the thick of it, as is Splendora, who splits that pair to take third. Toulouse de Trogs down at the rail, followed by Petit Ange, 6 lengths off the lead. Creative Quality is next. It's a gap of 3 to the next flight. Where's My Ring is toward the back of the field, racing on the inside of She's the Law, and it's another 3 to Motet. Around the far turn, and Kinza is the leader, 3/4 of a length. Miss Bojay in pursuit second, a length back to Coastal Cowgirl, 3 deep in third. Splendora is in between horses. Here's Tahini moving into contention on the outside, only 3 lengths off the lead with a wide and nice bid as the field turns for home. It's Kinza just in front, Miss Bojay, followed by Coastal Cowgirl. Tahini on the outside, Splendora at the fence. Final furlong, Kinza has widened to lead by 4. Splendora comes through along the inside, but it's Kinza in a sparkling debut, overwhelming the competition and striding out to win by 7 easy lengths.
Sebastian, nobody was going to beat Kinza that day. You want to know why? Because she earned a Beyer speed figure of 96. That's the highest Beyer speed figure for a 2-year-old filly anywhere in the country during the year 2023, and no disgrace, finishing third to her. She also adds Lasix today. She was the betting favorite in the race we just saw. She's the betting favorite today. Can you get past her?
I couldn't see past her. Not only was her replay stellar, her intangibles, they paid $350 for OBS of Matoli out of a Bodemeister mare. I do think that she's absolutely going to improve with that start. Lasix is going to help. I think she has a really nice stride, and I can't hold getting beat by 7.5 to Kinza against her when Kinza ran away from her and she really wasn't quitting. She's just ran into a superior filly that day, but in this spot, I think she's the superior filly.
Here in this race, you can see that Bob Baffert might have a runner. It's the first-time starter, number 6, Showcard, bred and owned by Juddmonte Farms. What'd you like about Showcard?
So Showcard, I think I really like the long work tab. Into Mischief out of an Uncle Mo mare. I really think that she is going to be a nice filly in her own right at some point. If she wins today, that's just gravy. But Juddmonte has a very nice filly on their hands, and I think she will enjoy going 2 turns.
Race number 8, we close out the day and we close out the week going 1.25 miles on the turf course. It also begins the $5 golden hour daily double wagering, linking our last race here with the last race at Golden Gate. It's for fillies and mares, allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. Scratch the 5 leaves us with a field of 7. Morning line favor is the Invader number 2, Kinjani from the Mark Glatt barn, ridden by Frankie Dettori, 7-2 on the morning line. Give us your thoughts on race 8, Sebastian.
In race 8, I ended up on the 4, Milagre do Sol. When she was running at Woodbine, the light bulb really went on when she was able to go 10 furlongs. They threw her to the wolves in the Dueling Ground Oaks, and even though she got beat 16, I mean, she was on or near the lead at some point in that race. And Kentucky Downs is a tough track to really to navigate, right? Now she's second start for Phil D'Amato. She comes back quickly, which is a very good sign in my opinion. She lands, leading rider Flavien Prat, and I think that a move forward is coming. I do think she likes 10 furlongs, and so it all just kind of adds up to a repeat well, not a repeat performance, but an improved performance at 5-1.
And Kinjani, last time out overseas in England, actually won at this 1.25 mile distance after kind of blowing the break. You give her a little bit of respect as well.
I do. Her long distance form was really good. In her last start, she had performed over a soft track. Given that the track today is good, might be even a little bit more, good to yielding, good to soft. One of those goofy distinctions that you get overseas, right? I just don't think that it's the typical good that you're expecting. So if this turns into more of a knockdown, drag out fight, that she could be right there at the finish.
He's a lover, not a fighter. Sebastian Piscuskas, it's always an honor to have you on the seminar. Thanks so much for your insight today. Continued success, I should say, in your position as loyalty and marketing ambassador. Keep up the great work. Thanks for always helping me out, and good luck with your selections today.
Thank you, Tom. It was my pleasure, and thanks for having me once again.
Of course. Thanks to all of you for watching as well. Keep in mind, live racing resumes this coming Friday at St. Edith's Pegasus World Cup weekend. First post will be 12:30 p.m. with an 8-race card. Should be a really fun weekend. Temperatures expected to be in the high 70s, low 80s all weekend long here at the Great Race Place next weekend. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good luck and have fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem.